Welcome back again. This particular episode is going to go from Broome to Darwin. I spent about 2 or 3 weeks in Broome with Seth Wright and his wife, and I thought, well, I'm so close to the Kimberleys, I might as well go there. It's closer than Perth. So away I went. I was fueled up. I was 400 litres short of fuel, so I couldn't quite get enough from the Broome Wharf. Anyway, I left and went to Silver Gull Creek, went across King Sound into Coppermine Creek, right up Coppermine Creek to the back of the island, and done a bit of fishing there. Went ashore and got oysters. Got trapped by a crocodile between the dinghy and me. First meeting with crocodiles, which I survived. And then the next day I went round to Silver Gull Creek, where there was a few boats. I fished for barra around there, caught nothing except trevally. I spent 3 or 4 days there, met a few people, moved out of there, went round to Dogleg Creek and topped up with fuel. I got 400 litres of fuel at Dogleg Creek for $3 a litre. I left immediately because the tide was good and went down the side of Coolan Island because my next mission was the Horizontal Falls. I worked my way through all the islands and anchored outside the Horizontal Falls where there's a big tourist base. Had a look there the next morning at the Horizontal Falls and immediately left for Reef Point for the next day when I was going to go to Montgomery Reef. So I anchored at Reef Point. There's a lot of current there. Next morning on daylight I went out to Montgomery Reef anticipating the tide. When I got to Montgomery Reef I went up inside the reef and the water was pouring off the reef down to the gully I was in. It was a good experience actually. And I had warnings that you couldn't stay inside the reef as the tide increased because there's a lot of water, a lot of surge and a lot of whirlpools and stuff. When I went to start the main engine it wouldn't start, the starter motor stuck. So I had to go down, sort it out, the boat started and away I went and headed across the Kimberleys. Now I'd never been there before. I'd heard a lot of stories about the Kimberleys, tide, current. You'll see from all my pictures all the places I stopped. I was there 6 weeks. I stopped at, I seen all the Bradshaw paintings. I seen the mermaid where the mermaid survey vessel had carved in the Boab tree at Careening Bay. I seen all the oyster leases, a lot of oyster leases through there. I fished a lot. I caught 13 barra in the Kimberleys. I caught so many mud crabs that I got sick of them. I stopped putting my traps out because there was so many mud crabs there. People say, how did you catch so many? How come you only caught 13 barramundi? Because I only needed 13. I could have caught 300. But why? What was the point? I ate every one of them. And I continued on through the Kimberleys. The things I discovered in the Kimberleys was, in some places there was quite a bit of tide range, but the biggest problem I had in the Kimberleys was in fact the current. Now, as I go around Cape Voltaire or Cape Londonderry, if it took me 6 hours to get to Cape Londonderry, I had to be there when the tide was running the right direction. So it flooded from east to west and ebbed from west to east. So I had to get there as the tide turned. So calculating the distance, time to arrive at the Cape or whatever became very important, because pushing against 4 or 5 knots of tide around those points doesn't work. You've got to be running with it. I never got it wrong once actually. I never got caught out anywhere except Glycomus Bay, just west of George River. I woke up one morning, I thought this weather doesn't look too good. By the time we got the anchor up it was blowing 40 knots of easterly. And to travel 8 miles took me 3 hours punching it into Gorge River. I didn't go into Gorge River because the tidal range at the Gorge River was only 1.2 metres. You'll see from my photographs all the things I've done in the Kimberley, so there's no need going on about it. Then I moved down to Wyndham and went right along the coast there, way up the coast all the way to Darwin. When I got to Darwin I only had 400 litres of fuel left. Lucky I fueled up at Dogleg Creek or I'd have run out of fuel. So that's my trip from quickly with photographs, I'd trip from Broome, to the end of the Kimberleys, to Darwin. That's the end of the video. I've tried to do it really quickly because I didn't have a lot of time, but if you need to have a look or good look at it, just subscribe to Kolesnikov Productions and you'll be able to see it all. And it's just a rough guide and all my photographs of what I've taken and other people's photographs of where I've been. An interesting journey about how great Australia really is. So thanks very much for watching and goodbye.